Hey, y'all, dedicated father. Wanted to talk a little bit on something I've already talked about before, but a little more in detail with some examples. As y'all know, I actually was filming and showed y'all where the wildfires were just starting, and I was like, "Oh, look at these fires! Look like they're going to get kind of big." Well, come to find out, now it's the largest Texas has ever seen. They are still burning. I personally wasn't able to get back to my hotel that day. That town got evacuated, and I ended up starting in my truck. They ended up having a bed available in that next town, or it's not next town, but town north of there. Uh, but when I was able to finally drive through and get back to my hotel to get all my belongings, and I decided to call the week short and get home, right? Well, I started looking at the burn path. I'm driving right through what looked to be a war zone. And the burn path, and sorry for the nasally stuff, guys, I'm getting over a cold here, but the burn path was so intense, but you could tell all resources were put around keeping these houses with like a barn and a shed and the stables and like an acre of grass all the way around. All the resources were put into keeping that intact that the fire just moved right by it, but there'd just be one perfectly untouched section right there. And then, unfortunately, all the cattle are trying to eat in that little bit of grass. Now, in a couple weeks, they're going to have quite a bit of green grass because when things burn, they come back nice and fresh. But it's just sad to see all the devastation, yet so great to see community come together. There's people coming from all over Texas dropping in round bales for these cattle and these horses. I was on my way back, I was seeing type 1, type 3, type 5 engines going up there from South Texas, Central Texas, East Texas. I'm sure from West Texas, they just would have came from the other direction. I mean, I was seeing it all over coming up there. It was so cool to see such a rally. Even in our little town, they had taken donations of water and supplies and Gatorade and hay and things like that, and were shipping them up there. Unfortunately, Canadian Texas, they got completely taken over by that fire. There's, from what I understand, at least one loss of life so far. Um, Blessed, it's not a whole lot more than that. If y'all haven't seen, I mean, you could see this burn from space. They can see the satellite infrared burning. That's how big of an area it is. More than they were saying Yosemite Park, National Park, that this fire is actually bigger than the entire size of that park. Which, I mean, if anyone knows the size of Texas, that doesn't take much to do. So I was thinking about that and thinking about, I got back and I got to church last night and we were talking about how that helping hand and always trying to be there for each other, excuse me, always trying to be there for each other and knowing when to ask for that handout, knowing when to give that handout, and watching these communities come together on people that they're just trying so hard just to survive, trying to make it to the next day, not quite sure how they're going to do it, and then suddenly all this help comes. Everyone just rallies in. That's the things our kids need to see. They need to see us rallying to help people, and they need to understand that it's okay to not be able to do everything alone. That we have the ability to take it, not a handout, but take that outstretched hand and take that help when necessary. And that's just one of those things as guys. It's really hard for us to see and realize that it's okay. That's that help is one thing I'm really bad at accepting, and so I make this video to out there, but this is to me too, that we just need to be better at making sure our kids understand that it's okay to need help. It's okay to ask for help, and as much as we want to be Superman in all of our kids' eyes, they need to understand that we all have a team around us, and we need to. Where that tribe needs to be there. Otherwise, we won't survive. It's biblically written that you you have to have help in order to survive. That's and I'm drawing the blank on it. I should know the verse because we were actually just talking about this. But maybe I'll make another video on it when it comes to. As you know, I do these live and I don't edit, so it's not in my head right now. Fresh, I'm sorry, but it is written that we do need help. We're not supposed to do this one on by ourselves. So y'all, I hope this resonates with somebody. I uh, I know that this channel's starting to have a couple viewers from around the country, so I hope they're able to see the kind of irony a little bit as we all come together as a country here, even though Texas seems to think we're our own country here. But we're starting to see. I mean, these fires are now affecting Oklahoma, and I saw them raging. I knew they weren't going to stop at the border. They don't know no borders. So I hope a lot of the country can see this help, and hopefully this video spreads a little further. Grounded Beef, thank you so much for the sub, and brother for the comments and the just the conversation back and forth, brother. I really appreciate it. Y'all, I hope y'all have an amazingly blessed day. Be strong, raise them right.